welcome back to the Phantom's Fact YouTube channel. I am back with another review, and this week I'm reviewing The Matrix, released in 1999, starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, and it was directed by the Wachowski brothers. So, everybody knows this film. I will talk about, how influential and, just in pop culture, and especially with visual effects, the amount of stuff that advanced with this film, obviously, when it came out, is great, and everybody knows the plot that, Neo, the One, he's in a fake world called The Matrix, and Morpheus, played by Lawrence Fishburne, makes him see the truth. He's beginning to believe and stuff like that. But I am not going to... I personally thought this film was just okay, and there's a reason for it. So this film's whole idea on the Matrix, this, fake world, what is real and what is not, and what constitutes a real fake in reality, how can you tell what is truth, and what decisions do you have in your life if this is all is faked, and it ain't real, and stuff like that. I've seen this concept tackled a lot better in films that I enjoyed a lot more. The Truman Show, for an example. I enjoy The Truman Show way more than I enjoyed this, and all of the subtext in that movie was so good, and this kind of idea wasn't even the main point of The Truman Show, but it was still leads better handled than that. I don't know. I feel like this film suffers from a lot of late 90s, early 2000s things where it's everybody's in leather, the color is greenish, even though I admit that some of the effects are impressive, and especially what they did back then with what they had, it's impressive that they revolutionized this stuff, but the effects, a lot of them still do not hold up, like the Sentinel drone things, and especially any shots of the ship they're in the real world, and when Neo jumps into Agent Smith and he blows up, that stuff just looks really bad and fake. The good stuff is the bullet time stuff, and I loved learning the behind the scenes and how they did that stuff. That's really impressive to me. And from characterization to a point is that I'm not a huge fan of films that take a main character as an audience surrogate, yet this has been done well in some cases. But in other cases, I feel like you need to make the main character a very specific person, and their reactions to this should be warranted. And I don't get that from Neo. I kind of get it from Keanu Reeves' performance, but he gets too used to it quick. And he doesn't really show all the emotions that this person would be going through in this kind of stuff. And I like Keanu. His stunt work, phenomenal, and I love him in the John Wick movies. His performances in them, while, maybe not the best compared to every actor, I feel like he does a good job in those. In this, I find him mediocrity okay, and, I like Lawrence Fishburne, don't get me wrong. I enjoy him. But this film kind of just makes him, blurb out all this philosophical stuff, and he's just wearing sunglasses. Don't get me wrong, you get some of the fun Lawrence Fishburne where he's acting a bit crazy, especially when he fights Agent Smith, which I will say one thing, I do enjoy Agent Smith played by Hugo Weaving. I feel like he is handled in such an interesting way because the agents obviously are AI programmed robot things, and the reason why I kind of like them is that, of course, it's iconic, the voice, Mr. Anderson, we've been expecting you, and I'm yeah, it's cool to see that, and I do like how his motivation is interesting to where he talks to Morpheus I want to get out of this world, I hate it, and I like that computer program is given a personality, but then there's a character in the film that betrays the other characters, and I thought it was kind of interesting the way he saw it. and I get the message that they were doing with that, but he also just turns kind of rapey and creepy by the end of it. I'm like, yeah, okay, don't like the way that they took that character. And, like, all the other characters I don't give a shit for. I barely give a shit for Trinity. I mainly give a shit for Keanu, give a shit for Neo and Lawrence Fishburne because they're played by actors that I like. I feel really nothing for these characters because I feel like the acting, while okay, I don't feel portrays the situation and stuff. And like the action, I will say, is good. I enjoyed the whole like lobby fight scenario, and especially with like the bullet time sequences, I enjoy that. The action is very good. I will say it is well directed. And the special effects in some cases are very handled well, but I feel like for most of this movie, I just feel like it's being pretentious with this idea. And the idea of the Matrix is cool. Don't get me wrong, it is cool. The fact that, you know, they're keeping us docile to do this. But then they try to do this philosophical, like, debate, like, he is the one. He's Jesus, practically, because that's who Neo is supposed to be, Jesus. And even though his anagram is one, you know, you can rearrange the letters in Neo to make one, which is... we're smart movie makers, but I still say this is an enjoyable film to watch. There are cool sequences using the Matrix idea, and the Matrix idea is very cool. And, like, even though I've seen it done better in other projects, the ideas explored, I feel like, are not as well explored. Don't get me wrong. I feel this movie is completely fine. There's problems with it, but I just enjoyed the action moments, enjoyed this, like, there were moments that I felt that I enjoyed the concepts that they're exploring, especially when they go into, like, the white room and he can make anything appear and stuff like that. I enjoy those kind of things. But then you have a problem where you can just give the character immediately, like, kung fu, which you don't really get, like, a character progression system. Why do that when you can just give them what they want? And I feel like it's a bit... But they kind of go through, like, a training sequence in The Matrix, but I feel like... The thing is, it's a lazy way to give your character powers, but also an interesting way how they use it in other aspects. I like that. But I feel just that the characterization is the worst part of this film. And, like, the plot itself, it's fine. The idea of the Matrix, I have problems with, like, it not explored to the best that it can, and I've seen it done better, but I feel like the characters are honestly the weakest point. And then Trinity all of a sudden loves Neo, and I'm like, what this was not fucking set up at all. I don't know. But I definitely say if you guys just want to have, like, a fun action movie to watch that, like, uses some early 2000s cliche, you know, like black leather, sunglasses, and stuff like that, and some pretty impressive visual effects for the time, and decent acting, especially from Lawrence Fishburne and Hugo Weaving. Neo is fine, you know, Keanu does his work, and all the stunts are pretty impressive exactly how they do it, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how this movie is. I think it's fine. That's it. But I definitely recommend it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe down below, and please share your opinions. You know, you guys don't always have to agree with me, and please comment what your opinions are on what you think, why my opinions are incorrect. But wait, what? Operator. We gotta get Morpheus rescued, so for that we're gonna need guns. Lots of guns. Lots and lots and lots of guns and guns.